Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be going over the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor is also known as the greatest common divisor, or in some places you may see it called the highest common factor. But in most places you will see GCF or the greatest common factor. And there are two ways you can use when it comes to looking for the GCF. You can use the list method or you can use the prime factorization method. So let's say we needed to find the GCF for the number 10 and the number 25. And when we're looking for the GCF, all we're going to do, we're looking for the largest factor that both of these numbers share. So numbers, when multiplied together, that's going to give me a 10. And then I'm going to look for numbers when multiplied together, that's going to give me a 25. And then we're going to match the list together and look for the greatest common factor between the 10 and the 25. So let's look for numbers when multiplied together, that's going to give me 10. So we have 1 and 10 because 1 times 10 is 10. And then we have 2 times 5 because 2 times 5 equals 10. For 25, we have 1 times 25. And then we also have 5 times 5. Now let's match the list together. We're going to look for the common factor, the largest common factor that both my 10 and my 25 share together, and that's going to be the number 5. So your GCF is going to be 5. Now let's go ahead and try using the prime factorization. So numbers when multiplied together, that's going to give me 10 is 2 times 5. And since I have prime numbers, I can't factor those anymore. I'm going to leave those alone. And then for the number 5, we have 5 times 5. Now we're going to go ahead and list these. So my 10, we have 2 times 5 here. And my 5, we have 5 times 5 here. We have 2 5s right here. So that's all we need. And this is your final answer. This 5 here, you're not going to use this 5 because there's no other 5 to match with it. And you're not going to use this 2 because there's no other 2 to match with it. So you're just going to leave it alone with just these 2 right here in the middle. So let's look at this example, 36 and 81. Let's look at 36. What numbers, when multiplied together, is going to give me the number 36? So we have 1 and 36, because that's going to give me 36. We have 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9. 4 times 9 is going to give us 36. And then we have 6 times 6, that's going to give us 36. Now let's look at the number 81. We have 1 times 81. This is going to give us 81. Then we have 3 times 27. That's going to give us 81. And then we have 9 times 9. That will also give us 81. The largest number that both of these numbers share is going to be the number 9. So your GCF for 36 and 81 is 9. Now let's go ahead and try the factor tree. We can use 4 times 9. That's going to give us 36. I can factor my 4 into 2 times 2 and my 9 into 3 times 3. My 81, we have 9 times 9. I can also factor my 9 into 3 times 3 and this other 9 into 3 times 3. Now let's go ahead and list these. So my 36, we have 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And for my 81, we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. We have a 3 here and a 3 right here. I'm going to go ahead and circle that. And we also have a 3 right here that I can use. So these 2s and 3s are going to stay out. Since I share a common factor, this 3 is going to be written 1 time times this other 3 we're writing 1 time. So 3 times 3 equals 9. So your GCF is 9. Let's try 4 and 10. Numbers when multiplied together, that's going to give me 4. So we have 1 times 4. And then we have 2 times 2. So for my 10, we have 1 times 10. That's going to give me 10. And then we also have 2 times 5. This will also give me 10. The largest factor that both of these numbers share is going to be the number 2. So your GCF using the list method is going to be 2. Now let's go ahead and try the factor tree. So we have 2 times 2, that's going to give us 4. I cannot factor anymore, so I'm going to leave that alone. And then we have 2 times 5. I can't factor any further since they are both prime numbers. I'm also going to leave that alone. So we have our 4, 2 times 2, and then our 10, we have 2 times 5. All right, so we have a shared factor here with my 2's. This 2 will be left out and this 5 will be left out. So your answer here is just going to be 2. Let's try 21 and 35. So let's list the factors for 21. We have 1 times 21. That's going to give us 21. And then we have 3 times 7. That's also going to give us 21. So my 35, we have 1 times 35. And then we also have 5 times 7. That's also going to give us 35. The largest factor between 21 and 35 is going to be the number 7. So your GCF for 21 and 35 is 7. Now let's try using the factor tree. So we have 3 times 7 here. They're both prime. I can stop here. And then for 35, we have 5 times 7. So 21, we have 3 times 7. And then 35, we have 5 times 7. So the shared factor between the two, we already said was 7. So if you do the factor tree, this is your answer right here. This 3 and this 5, they are left out. Let's try 18 and 27. Let's list the factors for 18. We have 1 times 18. Then we have 2 times 9. And then we have 3 times 6. 27, we have 1 times 27. And then we have 3 times 9. The largest factor between the two we have is going to be the number 9. So your GCF for 18 and 27 is 9. Now let's try using the factor tree. So we have 18 here and 27. 18, we said 6 times 3. 6 we can factor into 2 times 3. And 27, we said 3 times 9. We can factor my 9 into 3 times 3. So 18, we have 2 times 3 times 3. That's going to give us 18. And then 27, we have 3 times 3 times 3. We have a common factor right here. We have 1 3, and we also have another 3 right here. This 3 and this 2, they're out. They are out of the game. Okay, so this 3, I'm going to write it 1 time. This 3, I'm also going to write it 1 time. So 3 times 3 equals 9. So let's try the number 6 and 20. So the factors for 6, we have 1 and 6. 1 times 6 is going to give me 6. And then 2 times 3, that's also going to give me 6. For 20, we have 1 times 20. We have 2 times 10. And then we also have 4 times 5. The largest factor that both of these numbers share is going to be the number 2, right? So your GCF for 6 and 20 is going to be 2. So let's try the other way to see. Oops. So 6, we have 2 times 3. 20, we have 2 times 10. My 10 factors into 2 times 5. So for my 6, we have 2 times 3. And for my 20, we have 2 times 2 times 5. The common factor that they both share is going to be the number 2, which is right here. The 3, 2, and 5, these are out of the game. So your common factor here, your GCF, is going to be 2 as well. All right, let's try 33 and 74. So a common factor we have is 1 times 33. That's going to give us 33. And then you have 3 times 11. And multiplied together, that's also going to give us 33. For 74, we have 1 times 74. And then we have 2 times 37. The largest factor that both of these numbers share is going to be the number 1. So in this example, your GCF is 1. Let's try 24 and 96. So 24, we have 1 times 24. We have 2 times 12. We have 3 times 8. That's going to give us 24. We have 4 times 6. That's also going to give us 24. For 96, we have 1 times 96. That's going to give us 96. Then we have 2 times 48. Next, we have 3 times 32. Then we have 4 times 24, 6 times 16, and then we have 8 times 12. And my 12 is going to go right here. So the largest factor that both of these numbers share is going to be the number 24. We have a 24 here, and we also have a 24 here in the 96. So if you do the list method, 24 is going to be your greatest common factor. So we also have other common factors like the 12, the 6, the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1. However, we are looking for the greatest common factor. And the greatest common factor between the 24 and the 96 is going to be the number 24. So let's say if we did the factor tree, 24, let's use 3 times 8. And then my 8 I can break down to 2 times 4. And my 4 can be broken down to 2 times 2. For 96, we have 4 times 24. And then I can break down my 4 into 2 times 2. My 24 here into 3 times 8. This 8 into 2 times 4. This 4 into 2 times 2. So let's go ahead and list these. So 24, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. That's going to give us 24. 96, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Now let's go ahead and match these up. I have one right here. I have a pair right here. I have another pair right here. And then I also have my 3 I can use. So this is going to be 2, which is from here, times another 2 from here, times a 2 from here, times my 3, which is right there. So we have 2 times 2, that's 4. 4 times 2 is going to give us 8. 8 times 3, this is going to give us 24. So your GCF, if you're using the factor tree, this method, so your final answer is also going to be 24. What if you have to find the common factor between 3 numbers? This time we need to find a common factor in all 3 numbers. So let's go ahead and list the factors for 12. We have 1 times 12, we have 2 times 6, and then we have 3 times 4. For 18, we have 1 times 18, 2 times 9, and then we have 3 times 6. For 15, we have 1 times 15, and then we have 3 times 5. The common factor, the largest common factor that all 3 numbers share is going to be the number 3. Although we have a 6 here for my 12 and a 6 here for my 18, the number 15 does not have the number 6 in it, so we can't use that. However, all 3 numbers have the number 3, so my GCF is going to be 3. Now let's go ahead and try the factor tree. So 12, you have 3 times 4. 4 is going to be 2 times 2. 18, you have 3 times 6. 6, we break it down to 2 times 3. 15, you have 3 times 5, and that's it. Can't break it down any further. So let's go ahead and list this. We have 12, 18, and then the 15. 12, we have 2 times 2 times 3. That's going to give us 12. 18, you have 2 times 3 times 3. And then 15, you have 3 times 5. The common factor that all 3 numbers share is this 3 right here. So your GCF is also 3. All the other numbers are out of the game. All right, so let's try 8, 24, and let's try 30. So the factors for 8, we have 1 times 8, and then we have 2 times 4. For 24, we have 1 times 24. We have 2 times 12. Then we have 3 times 8. And then we have 4 times 6. For 30, we have 1 times 30. Then we have 2 times 15. Next, we have 3 times 10. And then we have 5 times 6. That's also going to give us 30. So the largest number that all of these numbers share, the common factor in all of these numbers, is going to be the number 2. Although I have an 8 here, an 8 here, I do not have an 8 here for my 30, so I can't use that. I have a 4 here, I have another 4 here. I also don't have a 4 in my 30, so I can't use that as well. The GCF is going to be the number 2. So now let's try the factor tree. So 8, we have 2 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2. 24, you have 3 times 8. 8 is 2 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2. And then 30, you have 3 times 10. 10 is 2 times 5. So let's go ahead and list these. So 8, you have 2 times 2 times 2. That's going to give us 8. 24, you have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And then 30, you have 2 times 3 times 5. That's going to give us 30. The common factor that all 3 numbers share is going to be the number 2, which is right here. All the other numbers are out of the game. So let's try one more. We have 3, 12, and 18. Factors for 3, we have 1 and 3. That's it. 1 times 3 is 3. And then for 12, we have 1 times 12. That's going to give us 12. We have 2 times 6. That's going to give us 12. And then you have 3 times 4. That's also going to give us 12. For my 18, you have 1 times 18. Next, we have 2 times 9. And then we have 3 times 6. That's also going to give us 18. So the common factor that all 3 numbers share is going to be the number 3. So your GCF, if you're using the list method, is going to be 3. So now let's try the factor tree, 3, 12, and 18. So 3, you just have 1 times 3. That's all we have. 12, we have 3 times 4. My 4 is 2 times 2. 18, we have 3 times 6. My 6 you have is going to be 2 times 3. So we have 3, 12, and 18. 3 is 1 times 3. 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. And then 18 is 2 times 3 times 3. The common factor that all 3 numbers share is going to be the 3, which is right here. And all of the other numbers are out of the game. So this is just going to equal 3. All right, so that is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.